What I would like to do is give you all an opportunity to ask any of those last-minute burning questions that you might have had during the day for any of our presenters. So perhaps I could ask our presenters to come stand up front here. Is everybody here? So if there are any questions that anyone would like to ask, now is a great time to do so. I do actually have one question for you guys that I think might be helpful. So my question to all of you actually is, so we've seen a lot of demonstrations of very new technology today, stuff that's still some of it in the research phase. Where should people go if they want to download and try out some of this stuff for themselves? Where's the best location for them to go? I guess that's a question for all of you.
So let me take a. If you are a customer, you should always come to Red Hat. Talk to your solution architects that you are working with, or the salespeople that you are working with. Whoever is your contact from Red Hat. If you already have an established relationship with Red Hat, talk to them first. That's always the best case. We can always provide you the best support that you need. Otherwise, community is always there.
Yeah, in terms of community, all the source are published now in the GitHub. Everything is available in the open source. You can build yourself. But we also, part of our CI/CD infrastructure, we publish Docker images. So you can build and run locally the Docker image that we provide. It's not exactly the same Docker image that I used for the cloud demo. There's different beats in there. But you can play with that.
And for Drools or jBPM in general, where?
Everything is available.
Okay.
Yeah, everything, the microphone on. Yes, just very subtle. Everything we do is available as part of the same sort of platform, the build system. So the CI, the CD is continuous integration, continuous delivery for the entire platform. And actually, we released Drools, jBPM, Optiplanner all simultaneously. So the entire key group at the community level is continuously released. So they can be tested at any time. People can get feedback, provide feedback to us at any time. And if they want to get involved in actually contributing as well, you can join. You saw we have Antondo join our sprints and our sprint planning, and they're part of our dashboards. We have a public chat channel. So we do everything public. Nothing we do is private. So just get onto IRC. You can lurk, you can hang, you can just watch what we're talking about. But we do most of our collaboration. None of us work in office together via these chat systems. So come and lurk on there. We will mentor people and help people, anyone who wants to get involved. And obviously, all our code is on GitHub. You can go there and check it out. Again, we have an integrated build system, so you can either just check out Drools or just check out jBPM, or there's a utility to check out the whole workbench. And we're there to help if anyone needs a hand getting started up. I know Jeffrey, he loves to volunteer to help people. So
It's always 24/7.
Yeah. You're just saying you want contributors for Optiplanner. There we go, see?
Great. All right, I'd like to open it up to the floor. Any questions? Anyone? Yes.
So I have a comment to make. So we've been working with the Red Hat platform for a long time. We have on staff just people who are very experienced with Red Hat, and recently we hired someone from Red Hat. And this is something which I validated with him as well. We do not have good detailed technical architecture documentation. Let me give you an example. We used jBPM recently, and we did not know the internals of jBPM. What are the different configurations I can deploy a runtime manager? What are the different configurations of transaction manager? How do they talk to each other? We just, we made some errors. We actually deployed it in singleton mode, which was the wrong thing to do. But there are other modes, right? Per process, per instance, and per request, or whatever. Is there some way you can help us understand that for these class of applications, please deploy jBPM and these components in these configurations? That is something which would be so useful, and we find it missing. So any suggestions?
So one quick thing I have, we like I already have. So in Red Hat, we have a pretty good practice group, right? The Red Hat consulting services, right? It's pretty big, and they are, initially it took a little while for them to get acquainted with the product and build it up. I mean, we have a huge team, both in North America and Europe and Asia too. So I mean, our Red Hat consultants are not really like, just people who come in and build your solution, but they are like the product experts. They are the mentors. So they have extensive knowledge working with a lot of different customers in a lot of different configurations. And they work very closely with our engineering, with our product team, and we get them trained with every new releases that are coming out.
Sure.
The best way to leverage, in my opinion, is to kind of engage with the account team and get somebody who's really experienced person on board. I mean, it goes a long way.
But that is also a very inefficient way. I mean, you have thousands of experts out in the field. They have the most latest up-to-date knowledge. Even if I engage with one consultant, that's all the knowledge I get. You guys can create a knowledge repository with all these detailed best practices and architecture diagrams, and you can scale up the adoption of your product. Customers like us don't have to struggle. I mean, I can sit down, read your documentation in a couple of weeks, and I know what is the best way to solve a problem. We took 6 to 8 months to figure this out.
Right.
We went round and round in circles, and then we figured out, gee, we have a singleton. So that's what I'm saying. You will make us more efficient. And I mean, I would highly.
But you figured it out. Why don't you contribute back? Why don't we have documentation? We have wikis. And this is the problem we have with community in general. They figure these things out and they don't take the extra step to provide that information back. And you can't always rely on Red Hat to do everything. Open source is about sharing that burden. And we're fantastic at doing engineering. And this is my personal opinion that not everyone can get involved in engineering, but you did figure this out, but you didn't write it up. Did you publish a blog? Did you mail it to the mailing list? Did you do a PR back to documentation with this solution? Now, you probably didn't, and you weren't expecting it.
I did.
Yeah, there we go. And so imagine there's only so many of us engineers, but there are thousands of you. If we could just get 1% of you guys to do this, you'd solve your problem.
Yeah, so I think, one of the ways we try to solve that is with reference architecture documents.
Yes.
I think, so
Yes.
we actually have one. I'm not sure whether for the
So no
6
one
series, in the support portal, one of the challenges that's actually a separate category where it shows up. So, and it actually tries to do what you mentioned. Is like, if you don't necessarily have a very specific use case, you just want to get started to kind of help you guide through what is probably a recommended architecture for you to get started.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to go into all possible configurations you need to do, but it's a reference architecture, as in this is the use case, this is why we're doing certain configurations. If you follow this with a similar use case, you probably will be fine.
Can you point me to that? We were not able to find that document.
It's product documentation.
Yeah,
So
so in support portal, you should be able to just
it's through the support portal. So here is my advice, right? I mean, you're asking a good question,
Right.
For you, the first point of contact should be the people that you are working with, like Josh is here. Probably is not the one now.
But whoever's the account manager, whatever.
Account manager is fine, managing the account, but the solution architect that works with you, every account has an associate.
Okay, is a solution architect assigned to our account.
Right.
Someone. We'll
So
figure
he's
it
the
out.
best person. He should be the best conduit for you. Anything that you have, he should be providing you all the support and all the help you need. But he knows how to navigate within the organization, bring the right level of support. I mean, ask Josh. The level of engagement he has with every single engineer is so deep, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's
Okay.
what should be happening. If it is not happening, please escalate. I think there is absolutely no
Okay.
reason
So here's
why
what
you should be
Absolutely.
wasting your time
Absolutely.
to find these things.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to my solutions architect assigned to Northwell Health, and I'm going to ask him for the product reference architecture document, which explains for a variety of use cases the best possible way to deploy jBPM.
And then you
And
will
if I don't get
contribute-
it, then I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah, and then you're going to
Absolutely.
contribute to recommendations and the changes on top of that.
No,
to make
so
it even
absolutely.
better.
So and this is going back to your point. If I had that reference document, it is much easier for me to take the reference document, add modifications based on my experience. A random blog on the social network will do no one any good. This will be a targeted edition, and you could publish it. Maybe you could publish it on your Red Hat website. Such and such document updated today. Go take a look. So
You sell yourself short. There could be your moment. Your fame awaits you. This one
I don't
blog
want
could change
fame.
everything.
I don't want fame. I want things to work
No,
efficiently.
I think that you're absolutely right. I think that's why we have the relationship,
why I'm
right?
here. Look, I mean-
Yeah, that's the relationship we have, you and us as a customer, right?
Right.
So we got to make sure that you are successful.
Yep.
You shouldn't be wasting your time, shouldn't be spending time.
Right.
Let's
We
make
wasted
sure that
too
you-
much time.
you're taken
Anyway,
care
so
of.
just wanted to share our experience.
Yeah.
And one other question is that what is your strategy for knowledge management and business-facing knowledge management and rules authoring? I mean, let's face it, your rules authoring is crap. It's really bad. Okay. And this is not me speaking. I talked to some of your consultants on your team. and they said that IBM ODM is much better and Fair Isaac is much better than you guys. So I'm not. I'm just. But this is not a criticism.
So let me answer. So. If you heard my talk earlier this morning, I said we're focusing on a number of things that we're improving.
And I understand.
So you saw we put a lot of it into the BPM Designer. I think we're showing that one is comparable to any on the roadmap.
Becoming good.
Comparable.
Yes.
So
yes,
good. So you can
that.
see we are doing some investment improving some things.
Yeah.
So the BPM Designer is one of them. You saw the form builder. You've seen the dash builder. I'm not saying they're 100% perfect, but you can't say they're
No, they're good. No, don't get me wrong. So that one is approaching. Actually, that was
great.
Getting.
So what we're trying to say is that in the platform as a whole, we've targeted certain areas. We can't improve everything. We have targeted certain areas that we feel align with the certain strategies we're doing. Now that means we haven't focused on. Well, we've improved decision tables, which you saw some videos of that.
Yeah,
they could do better, but so we've improved this. But what we haven't improved is the guided editors, the natural language processing, and this is simply about prioritization.
I understand.
And we chose those other things. Oh, in part as well because those things were. If you want to start doing a natural language editor, guided rule editor, you can do a huge investment for a very low return. They're very difficult and take a very long time.
That's a choice.
So we prioritize the easier things to get right.
Yep.
We will improve those over time, and obviously, I think it's just making sure that you as customers have to go to Red Hat and say how important these things are and get me more funding.
Okay, so I get that.
So if I have more people, I'll get these things done.
All
so
right.
you need to go to Prakash and in fact, just go straight to Jim Whitehurst, send him an email.
Who's Jim? Is he around here?
Yeah. So email Jim and say that, get me more people. So it's just literally about
we are an
prioritization.
open organization.
Pardon me if I came across as a little.
No.
But
I completely agree.
The goal is to develop a collaboration, deeper than what we have right now.
Yeah.
at
I would love to be working on new guided editors, new natural language editors, but at least I wanted to at least show this morning that we are listening, we are improving some things.
That I agree.
We're not just ignoring it. And I hope people feel that we are going, we're not there, but it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's just maybe those priorities are not things that some people would rather we did the guided editor first rather than say than the BPM designer. Some people say the BPM is, so we chose those priorities, and I hope we can do the other ones in the future.
Absolutely.
I mean, last couple of years, we'd like to admit we have taken a lot of time to kind of get our BPM story better. I think we have made good progress there. So we have kind of definitely paid less attention to the other things.
Sure.
I think it's shaping up. I think the reason I showed the breakup of all these things, we're going to start focusing on each individual product. So it's happening. I think DMN is going to be one of the
DMN is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, with the DMN tooling that's expected to come out in 7.1 product, not too distant future.
Yeah, my only request, can you speed it up because we really want to get started because it's really useful. It's a very good thing.
Edson is probably watching this live and he knows, and he's been a big supporter of this.
Right.
Definitely, that's probably the one way we'll want to kind of build out our authoring.
That's a very good strategy for authoring.
Future,
So I mean, just to share the internal conversations at Northwell, we really want to do DMN authoring, but now when we look at your timelines, I'm like, we don't want to wait 1 year before we deploy an executable DMN in production. So that is where we're struggling.
I don't think you need to. That's why I put out that option, right? We have an early access program. We have already few customers started to build their solution for DMN. Work with us, and we will work with you to make sure that we get. I mean, we are not too far for the product support too. Production support for the
So for
DMN.
the early access program, do we get early access to production support?
You'll get let's work
so I'll
through
reach
those
out to
details.
you then.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
all right.
work through
Be careful what you say there, Prakash.
We are partners like Trisotech.
Yeah, so we are already working with Trisotech very closely. We are about to sign a deal with them, but we want to be sure once we sign a deal with them, we want to go into production within 6 months. We don't want to take too much time, go into next year, right? We don't want to delay.
I mean, of everything in our product, one of the things that is really the most stable and most ready to go, I'm sure Matthew would agree with me, is the DMN execution.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot of promise, and that is one of the answers to the authoring problems.
But you have it on your roadmap, right? I mean, it's still not. It's in 7.3, right? The DMN, and you didn't have 7.3 in.
Oh no, the DMN is already done.
Oh, okay. So the community, because only 7.3 in community supports DMN execution. I assume that it's only.
I made a typo. 7.3 is already done. It's already.
Actually already out.
Oh, okay.
7.3 is somewhere here. There's going to be a 7.4 somewhere here.
Yeah.
And anything in that is going to be in the BRMS GA.
Okay, got it. So I just got confused with this because it seems like okay. So you're saying in the January time frame you would have DMN.
January, February is what we are targeting for the full support. But we don't need to wait. Let's get started now.
All right, I'll reach out to you. So, no, thanks for this clarification. Right? earlier than we thought.
That's good.
All right, thanks. I didn't want to talk
Yeah.
questions.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. My purpose come here actually trying to also find a solution for the business rules and the integration with the BPM solution. Actually, we currently using the Oracle BPM suite and to solve the problem, but we find out the orchestration style of the business model won't really fit our business needs. We need a data-driven. So, do you have any plan to support the business, the data-driven process management or event-driven process management?
Yes. we actually already do. You can do, Chris will tell you can do event-driven process management. There's just some things aren't quite out of the box, but it can be done.
Okay.
I think this is part of, maybe we could do more to get this into reference architecture, maybe we could get more done out of the box, but the capabilities are there for this.
Okay, even with the current
Chris.
version. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the case management is actually much more data-driven, and so I mean, having the process respond on the data actually, because we combine processes and rules together, a lot of the cases is if it's data-driven, it's usually triggered by some kind of condition, which might be evaluated by a rule, which will then trigger a more traditional BPM sequence. Even event-driven is the same. Event-driven is actually just data-driven, just typically the amount of data you're triggering on is just a small event. So those kind of capabilities, I mean, like I said, they've been in the product since, I mean, even since version 5, but with all the case management stuff we're doing right now, we're making it much more easier to consume these kind of capabilities. But I mean, to be honest, data-driven or event-driven workflows, I mean, those are things we believe you should be able to currently do even with the 6 series of the product right now.
Okay, great. And also, I think we can leverage the AI, the planner. Are you planning to integrate the planner together with the process? I know that behind the same foundation is with the business rule, but I'm thinking, for example, you demonstrate like shift like assignment, right? So, but I like the further, like automatically assign the task or process upon the best, suggestion for the planner.
We have actually an example application doing exactly this. So it's
Great.
using Optiplanner to do jBPM tasks.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, in BPM Next I did a demo which kind of explains how it works, and that's recorded. So if you look it up, you can actually look at the demo that I did there. But the idea is that we would try to provide that. So we have in the version that we are delivering now. So the next GA version of 7.0 has a lot of task assignment strategies. The last thing we're doing is the integration with Optiplanner, which we believe will be available in the next version of 7.0 as well. So there's a lot of that already improved, and there's by the time we go GA, we will have that integration with Optiplanner, which I mean it's something that you typically would customize as in define your own rules. But the kind of real-time continuous planning with Optiplanner as part of that is expected to be kind of like an out-of-the-box thing you would be able to set up with the platform.
Yeah, that's one of the
great,
exciting
great.
feature. We call it a smart inbox. That's the inbox, like instead of a standard inbox. So that's a built-in feature you can go configure, make it happen. So it's very easy.
Thank you so much.
So to quickly demonstrate what me and Chris are solving. So we have a number of tasks. These are tasks. These squares, these are the employees. They're being assigned. There's a number of constraints, let's choose skills, priority, affinity, and so forth. And as we produce new tasks, you'll see being added at the back. And of course, the critical task will move to the front once they get produced. And at the same time, we can actually also consume tasks. So you can see we have tasks coming in at the back. We have tasks being consumed. And that's basically it.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. Any more last minute questions for our speakers? All right. So I would like to say a huge big thank you to our speakers today. I know you guys worked really hard putting this together. I think it was a terrific event. Very good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil, and everyone else who made this possible today, because we do enjoy doing this type of stuff. So.
Absolutely.